Okay.
Chicka.
Yeah.
Kill Bill and Rev. We don't suck.
You fuckers weren't asking for this one. It's the We Don't Suck podcast with Rav and Kill Bill. Tune in on the WX9 1422 episode 91. Come on down. Sunday. Be there for Monster Truck Madness. Come on down. Watch your grandma get decapitated.
Take a choo-choo train to Browntown with Bill and Rav.
Come on down to Wiener City with Bill and Rav.
Diarrhea Town.
Come on.
Poopy butthole.
Come on down to Poopopolis. City of Poop. Gotham City, but all the villains are poop themed.
Welcome back to Neo Diarrhea.
Neo Diarrhea.
Post-apocalyptic, more like post-apocalyptic. Ha! Pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Of the toilet seat, because you're gonna shit on the toilet seat.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, episode 91. Good year. 91 is a good year.
How you doing?
That was good. I see you've been practicing your human greetings.
Yeah.
They're getting more and more human-like as of late.
I've been working on it, dude. Me and Zeldar have been practicing, you know?
Yeah, all praise be to Zeldar, the nonconformist.
Good guy.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'd fuck.
I'd fuck at least 7 of his shapes.
Yeah, dude. All the ones that we can't count all the dodecahedrons in.
Yeah, exactly. I hope he returns from that one chamber one day. But, welcome back to the We Don't Suck podcast, the last pre-spooky season episode. Bill, we love the spooky season.
Sorry, that was another greeting.
I know you love creepypastas and the SBCs, NPCs, all of those like letters and stuff,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, whatever, buddy.
You love all them shits, so we could make the whole month of October spooky season, because I know you love that kind of shit. And
I do love that kind of shit. It's my favorite time of year.
it is probably my favorite time of year too. Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to Creepy Bloody, all the fun, spooky video game times.
Yeah, all the nudity.
All that just rampant nudity. Can you have rampant nudity?
I mean, you can. Like, you go to like a nude beach, I would say that's rampant nudity.
Okay, for sure. I don't know why rampant always has like a it sounds almost aggressive, doesn't it?
It is. It doesn't sound, it is.
It's like aggressive, but like, is a nudist beach a display of aggressive nudity?
It is when I'm there, baby.
Say less. How you been, Bill?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I went to the doctor Wednesday. He said, yeah, boy, that leg looking good.
Really?
That's what he said. Yeah, then we fucked.
Nice.
In the doctor. Yeah, no, he said that I don't have to go back. He was like, you're pretty much good. He says probably going to be another month or so before I'm like 100%. But I mean, like, I'm living my life as though my leg wasn't mangled.
That's awesome.
Things have been pretty good. I've been walking a lot. I said that last time we talked, but like I have been walking quite a bit with my dog. Me and my dog have a special bond. He is my son. I will protect him. Yeah, man. How about you? How's your whole nipple situation going? Because I know you got that caught in like a lawnmower the other day.
Yeah, I did, but it's okay. I'll just borrow one of Ross's since he has a third one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. What a lucky boy.
Yeah, he was truly blessed.
I miss Ross.
I miss Ross, too. I mean, I miss everyone at this point with a pandemic.
Man, have you done like anything? Like, has it been pretty much just like straight up indoor activities over there for you guys, or what's up?
For the most part. I mean, I've gone to I've my lady and I have strolled through a park or two in the last half year or so, but
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah, we stay home, we play video games, watch cartoons and anime, and you know, we've done some fun stuff at home. Like last week, she put together a fort in the living room.
Oh, hell yeah.
Made of like blankets and stuff, but also we have like certain types of green screens and everything, so we could actually make really stable big fucking roofs or like ceilings for the thing. And we put lights inside, like little almost like Christmas kind of lights, and cushioning and snacks, and our cat was there with us.
Kush.
It was really tight. Some kush. It was really tight. It was like we were really, you know, getting in touch with our child selves in a sense, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And just kind of enjoying the purity of that. And that same day we made pancakes as well. So
Love that. Pancakes are a fun thing to make.
absolutely.
I always do them more like fritters. The way I do them, like I kind of like fry them hard on the edges.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, we've been making more like crepes. We've been making more crepes.
Okay, yeah, it's basically like the same idea. It's
Yeah.
kind of have it a little crispy on the edge. It's nice.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's been that's those best moments. And then of course whenever we play together or if we play with our friends, that's fun, and it feels like the closest we get to doing, like, I don't know, being with all our friends again, you know? But
Yeah, for sure, dude. I've been for the most part, it's been kind of the same, but I did traverse into the outside world recently out of necessity, but then it became a non-necessity thing when I was out. Like, I mean, like, I've been going to, like, Walmart, but, like, we've just been doing the pickup, you know, like, just, like, getting groceries, and then, like, they bring it out to the car, and then you leave.
Right.
But the other day, you know, Joe, she just started teaching, right? Like, it's her first year teaching, and it's all virtual, but she needs like certain books and stuff because like she wants to read them with the class or read them to the class. She's got fourth graders, and she was just like, hey, like we had to go to Somerville she had like a doctor's appointment in Somerville, and while we were there, we were like, hey, like let's stop by Barnes and Noble really quick and grab that book instead of ordering it, because then you'd like have to wait for it, you know. And so we show up to this Barnes & Noble, and I'm, like, kind of paranoid. Like, I'm like, oh, there's going to be, like, a lot of people. It was, like, nobody at the Barnes & Noble.
Okay, that's good.
And I was just like, hell yeah, dude. We can, like, go in Barnes & Noble and, like, enjoy Barnes & Noble. There's, like, no one here. There's, like, 2 cars there total.
Yeah.
And
that I agree with you on that. The fact that now, like, even in London, the city seems a lot more empty, you know? Like, there's fewer people. It's kind of less overwhelming. That's kind of nice. I wish that became a permanent thing. It might.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that all the time here, but then like at in like Somerville, Charleston, it's like way more people, you know. But then like we show up to the Barnes and Noble, and like I don't know, I kind of forgot how much I like going into like a Books A Million or a Barnes and Noble and just like existing there. It's like such a like chill environment for some reason, and I go in there, and then like I ended up picking up it's like a big hardcover version of Battle Angel Alita, and I'm like halfway through that one.
It's a good one.
It's so good. It's really good, and I'm like about halfway through it. The art style's so fucking fresh and
sick,
fire.
right?
Like,
yeah,
like especially for the time, like it has like a very like, it feels like a very specific, it gives me the same kind of feeling as like watching Alien or like Ghost in the Shell or something.
Right, it's so
you know?
of its time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, so I really like how like unapologetically gory it is. Like it's really just kind of like, it's very like 80s super hyper gory, you know, and it's great. Overall, I've been really enjoying it. The one thing I don't like is I've seen at least 2 dogs get killed. I don't like that, but you know, it's part of the time. They were trying to make us cringe, I guess, you know. But isn't that weird? How like us as a like I could watch there's so many people getting their like brains just like fucking splattered in that, and I'm cool with it. But as soon as it's a dog, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from. I guess it's because we project onto other humans sort of maybe whatever we dislike about ourselves, and maybe, I don't know, like if I see a human die, I'm like, they probably deserved it, because if I died, I probably deserve it. But then when it's a dog or a cat, it's like, well, they're incapable of deserving it, you know?
Yeah, I think the difference is that it's like, if you fuck up as a human and you're in the wrong place in the wrong time, you do it in a world where like you're sort of aware of it. Like it's like you're sort of like, oh, like this is a possibility that can happen, whereas a dog doesn't know.
I see what you're saying.
It's like an outlier in the world that we're the rules that we have.
It's like an innocence to it that it doesn't even know that this could happen, and so when it happens to it, it's like, oh, how unfair it is. And in reality, I mean, you know, obviously no one deserves any of that kind of stuff, but I know what you mean. I definitely have experienced a similar.
You deserve it, asshole.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, but no, it's tight, dude. And I just fucking walked around and I was just like, damn, I'm like reading all these books. Just looking at all these books. I was like, damn, I haven't read a book in like forever. You read it all. Read it. You be reading. Anybody, you be reading. Do you read like books anymore?
On occasion, you read? Yeah, I'm trying to think. I definitely read some manga, reread some manga. I have a lot. I usually buy a lot of art books, you know, because I like to create.
There was this fire-looking Junji Ito art book in there, and I almost got it, but then like I realized that's not really appropriate for our coffee table. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, no, I like to get art books, and then they inspire me, and sometimes like I'll open up a bunch of art books, find the pages that are like corresponding with how I'm feeling, put on a bunch of beats until I find one that matches that setting, and then like write to that.
Yeah.
And it just helps, like I envelop myself in the world, you know, sonically and visually, so I do that a lot. But in terms of reading, my girl's been reading Lord of the Rings. She's been also reading some interesting psychological books out loud, so she's basically been my Audible.
Oh, that's cool.
In a sense. So there's that. So I guess I'm participating because I'm listening for sure, actively. But as for reading myself actively, it's probably been a few months, and I don't remember what was the last thing I read. But I read on occasion.
I was talking to Joe about this. She was like, "Hey, what was the last book you read? Like chapter book?" And I really couldn't answer. Like it's been a long time since I've just sat down and like read a chapter book. Like I read manga, I read stuff online all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly same.
But I never like just sit down and read like a narrative chapter book anymore. Mm-hmm. I probably should. It's good for your noggin, I hear scientists have said it.
Yeah. Bill, if you were a supervillain, right, what powers would you have?
I would be able to read any book.
Any book?
Yeah, I could just read it.
Tell me how you would apply your powers.
I wouldn't be illiterate.
That's fucking evil.
Okay, no, that would be really dastardly, though. Just you could read anything, you know?
Yeah, if you were literate, that'd be so dastardly. Yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm literate, but I'm not dastardly.
I mean, that's debatable.
Fair.
No, what if I was a supervillain? Mm-hmm. Any power? Huh. That's a tough one, buddy. I'm stalling while I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to, you know, because we've talked about early on the podcast, over 80 episodes ago, I think. I remember we sort of, you know, entertained the idea, oh, if we were superheroes, what powers would we have? Well, we never really considered our supervillain possibilities, you know, so here we are.
Let me just make sure I'm saying this word right real quick.
Well, it's because you're not literate, so you see, if you were literate, you wouldn't even have to check.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying this word right. It's Cucamonga. Sorry. Okay. You know Rancho Cucamonga in California?
Oh, yes. Okay.
My supervillain power would be, you know how like there's that laughing gas that the Joker has that makes you laugh to death, like you go crazy and then laugh to death?
That's right.
I would have a gas that does that, but instead of laughing, you just say Cucamonga over and over and over and over again until you die.
Okay, so can you give me like a a play-by-play of a situation where you're the villain. You bust into this, let's say, Starbucks establishment, throw the gas bombs down, and then the barista sort of dies in front of you. I want you to act out as yourself, the supervillain, but also the poor innocent barista.
Wait, what is the barista doing? Like, she's just chilling?
He's just like, he was about to serve someone, I don't know, fucking double Slurpee hot chocolate burpee McTwist or whatever they're called, right?
Where is this at? In a fucking like cursed McDonald's? Like, what is this?
This is Starbucks, okay? This is Starbucks.
Let me get a venti Slurpee burpee.
Yeah, it's like venti Slurpee burpee McTwist.
Let me get that Chi-Chi 900 cup.
Yeah,
okay. So
you're both people.
I'd wave him down. I'd say, barista, like that, because that's how I talk as a villain. And he says, what? Like that. And I'll be like, where's my venti Slurpee burpee? And then I just expel the gas out of my asshole. And then he just like, dude, did you just fart? And then he's just like, Cucamonga. Just like louder and louder and louder. Everyone's looking at him. Everyone's
don't describe it. I want to act it out. I know you're a method actor.
Oh, well, I am. I'm just giving you. I'm like letting everyone understand.
Okay.
Cucamonga. And this lady next to him was just like, what's wrong with that guy? And then she smells it. Like that's how she breathes.
That's how normal people breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she goes, Cucamonga. And then I'm just laughing, like, like that. And then the guy's just yelling at the top of his lungs. His eyes are about to fucking pop out. Cucamonga! Like that, And the everything's fucking falling apart. Like there's an earthquake going on. You're scared. I'm scared. I'm into it. My pants are down.
So they fall over and die.
Yeah, but it's like super slowly. Like it's a really slow, like they die of suffocation from not being able to breathe because they're saying Cucamonga so much.
What is the last time they say it sound like? How does it come out? Does it come out like?
It varies from person to person, but it's kind of like a death rattle.
Okay. Yeah.
It's what, I don't know if you know what that sounds like, but I can't replicate it because I have normal human vocal cords. So, it's like,
sure,
like that, It's like they get really loud, then they get really quiet because like you can't you can't breathe.
Yeah, don't expose your alien powers, brother. Not on the podcast.
I'm trying not to, man. Zeldar told me to rein it in.
Yeah, he did, and he was right. So, okay, cool, interesting. Bill, then what would be the name of said supervillain persona?
They would call me the Craigslist Cucamonga Killer.
And what's your origin story? I want you to just kind of let us know.
So there I was in Rancho Cucamonga, enjoying my time, located just south of the foothills of San Gabriel Mountains and Angeles National Forest in San Bernardino County, California. Enjoying it in the United States. Me just being about 37 miles east of downtown Los Angeles in Rancho Cucamonga, which is the 26th most populous city in California. Just so you know.
Thanks.
I'm chilling there. And then I'm hanging out and I look down and there's a radioactive spider that loves saying the word Cucamonga out loud. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it and it looks like it's about to bite me right on the ball sack because I'm naked.
Of course.
As one is in Rancho Cucamonga, which, currently the weather is 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius down there, winds north of 1 mile per hour, 2 kilometers.
You're saying this like I don't know.
47% humidity.
Acting as if I didn't already know this.
This happened in 2018, and I was just one of the population of 177,751. you know. I was just chilling with the mayor, you know, L. Dennis Michael. You know, I could plan a trip.
Okay, so what inspired you to become a super villain? This origin story doesn't sort of cover that. I think.
So I got bit on the ball sack, and then anytime I showed it to someone, they would say like, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, this is pretty weird, right? And this strange." And then they'd be like, "Oh my God, his balls! Why do they look like that?" And then it really embarrassed me. And so then I realized my powers like very like early on, because anytime I farted, people just died yelling Cucamonga really loud.
Yeah.
So I thought like maybe it's time to use my powers for evil, because like people made fun of my weird ball sack.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good coffee.
How do you plan on taking over the world? Or, I mean, what's your ultimate goal, I guess, rather?
My ultimate goal is to become president of the United States.
Okay, well, fair enough.
And for those who don't vote for me, I'm going to make them die by saying Rancho Cucamonga over and over.
Right, but what's stopping the government from just locking you up?
If they try, then they're going to die. Can't get near my asshole.
They could wear gas masks.
It penetrates.
Surely they could find something that wouldn't penetrate, or something that could counteract it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good luck with that, because I also have a 9mm Beretta.
Well, then there you go. Now you're unstoppable. Kind of cheap.
Yeah, you know.
Overpowered much, but
A
sure.
villain never shows his true powers, you know. But it's just like everyone has like a utility belt. Mine's just a belt that has a gun strapped to it.
Who's your main opponent? Like recurring.
My opponent?
Yeah, your recurring sort of, hero counterpart.
The ghost of Richard Nixon.
Okay.
Is he dead? That man's dead, right?
I fucking hope so. Of course he is.
Yeah, he's dead. Richard Nixon's dead.
Yeah.
Just making sure, you know. Yeah,
He'd
it's
be
just
fucking hella old if he was still alive.
he'd be over 100.
Yeah, wait. Hey Siri,
107.
when was Richard Nixon born? 1913. Yeah, he would be 107 years old. I mean, not impossible, I suppose.
He could be. There's people that are alive that late in their life, you know.
Right. So the ghost of Richard Nixon is a superhero.
Yeah, because he was such a shitty person. Like
That in death
he's trying to.
Right.
Yeah, he got to keep his body, like in Dragon Ball Z. You know how like warriors get to keep their bodies, presidents also get to keep their bodies, and so he like went down Snake Way, and basically tried to like get like redemption for his action. So he comes down
Just
here.
me imagining him going down the Snake Way, like it's just hilarious. Richard Nixon just kind of
He's
waddling
training with
it.
King Kai.
Yeah, what is it, King Kai? Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, that's
King
really
Kai
cool.
keeps making like shitty Watergate jokes.
Yeah, like what?
Can I skip?
Can I skip?
Like he says some shit like he's just like Richard Nixon. That's how he talks, by the way. That's how King Kai talks. And he's just like what do you use to keep water inside of a thing? And he's just like, I don't know. He's like a Watergate.
It's real good. It's real good, dude. That's real.
Yeah,
good.
and then Richard Nixon kills Bubbles the monkey.
Because he was a hippie, clearly. Bubbles was definitely a hippie. Okay, so all right, interesting. I want to know then what is your weakness, if you have one, or maybe multiple weaknesses. Like, what are your weaknesses?
Butt putty.
Butt putty. Okay, I'm not gonna ask any more questions because that's just self-explanatory. And what are you strong against? If you're a Pokemon card and it said like, resistance, like, very resistant against what?
Electricity. It actually like amps me up.
Right.
It makes me fart more.
Beautiful. Okay. Well,
It's like I'm super into being shocked. It makes my nipples really hard.
This is you or the supervillain?
Oh, both.
Okay, all right. That's cool. Nice, man. Very, very interesting supervillain idea and origin story.
Thanks, man. If you were a supervillain, who would you? What would your deal be?
Who would you vote for?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so my power would be to briefly spawn a small wormhole right outside of my asshole,
Okay.
and then spawn it somewhere else in the room that I'm in. So I could shit my pants, kind of, but tunnel a wormhole into your pants from wherever I am. So as I shit, I'm actually shitting your pants.
Man,
So I was like in the bank,
that's powerful.
and like the guard gets in the way, then I quickly shit in his pants, and he's like he has to do something about it. And now he's going to the bathroom. His guard is down. I can rob the bank. Know what I mean?
I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, if you're fucking, how are you supposed to fight crime when there's shit in your pants?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
So, like, what's your origin story? Like, what gave you this power to shit my pants?
So, one time I was, taking a shit in a public restroom.
Yeah,
And-
scary.
Right, and a radioactive spider bit me on my sack.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. And
But like, what makes you like a villain, though? You know?
what made me a villain? Well, I basically I get out of the stall. I quickly I don't even wipe. I just run back into the restaurant
As you normally do.
to my friend who was eating with me at the time. I'm like, bro, look at my sack. I just got bitten. And
You're just like at the table, like
right, and I'm trying to show it to him, but he's just screaming Cucamongo at me. Right, and then he falls over and
Shit.
dies, and I just find it so selfish.
Yeah, like why couldn't he die later? You know?
Right? What was that all about? So yeah,
What was that guy's deal, huh?
yeah, exactly. So that just makes me, that really ticks me off. It perturbs me, and so I dedicate the rest of my life to, crime and such.
To like, sorry, I'm eating as we're podcasting. That's good. That's good, right? Good idea.
It's a good thing to do, yeah. So
You just hear mouth sounds the entire podcast.
my weakness would be, well, okay, so I have a few weaknesses. Like, I can only use my power a certain amount of times a day, so that's a big weakness for me. And
Like just only when you have to shit.
well, not only that, it's I can't spawn the wormhole all the time, and I don't know when I'll be able to or when I won't. Like, it's kind of almost random, you know.
Right.
So sometimes I'll walk into the bank and I'll be like, and they'll be like, "Hey, sir," well, I don't know. Like, for some reason they confront me because maybe I'm wearing a trench coat. They're like, "Sir,
As
please,
one does.
identify yourself," or something like that, and I'm like,
You start shitting.
yeah, just like. And then turns out that I just shit my own pants and I couldn't form the wormhole. So I do, and I walk out. And I go home.
You just say next time while laughing.
Next time, you won't be so lucky. And then, so that's my weakness.
That feels right.
I'm strong against, like, small children. I could just really go to town on them, like, elbow them and knee them to, like,
Yeah.
practically to death. Really good
That's
at
one of
that.
my IRL weaknesses. Like, children can beat me up and I can't fight back.
Yeah, well, you should partner up with this supervillain persona of mine, because then you guys will be unstoppable. And the supervillain's name would be Butt Tunnel Man.
Wow.
Yeah, or no, but then he sort of rebrands himself to Quantum Dookie
Why?
because he thinks it sounds cooler.
It doesn't.
Well, he believes it does. And don't tell him different because he's like very touchy about it.
Okay, I'll humor him.
And yeah, so there you go. And my superhero counterpart would be Superman.
Oh,
And he would always beat me almost to death. I'd be like, what are you gonna do? Just shit my pants. He grabs me and throws me at the sun.
that'd be really funny. Is like you could only really do the wormhole one time.
It was just a fluke.
Afterwards, you think you can do it. Like, yeah, you think you can do it all the time. You just shit your pants all the time.
Yeah, forever. I just like to imagine I tried to like shit myself. He grabs me and tosses me at the sun. It's just at the speed of like light practically. I just like start propelling towards the sun as like parts of my body start like flying off me. Or like he
It's
just
like
pummels me to
dookie
death.
flying everywhere, like out of your pants.
Yeah, like yeah, just like I mean,
There's like a man just like a man chilling, and he's walking, and then like he can't hear you because you're so like far up in the air that it's like he can't hear you yelling, and then
Yeah.
he just like feels like a little splatter on his head, and he like looks up and feels it. It's just dookie, like a little bit of dookie.
Yo, be right back. Actually, you mind if I be right back? Grab some water. I definitely didn't shit my pants just now. I definitely need some more water because I'm getting a little parched. Not
Okay, I mean you don't
There's no
have to
fecal
you don't
matter
have
in
to
my
convince
pants.
me anything, buddy.
All right. Well, keep these people busy and interested in all of these things. Bye.
Okay, man, dude, whew. Golly, a lot of things happening now, huh? How about that election coming up? Wowie, crazy. You know, it's just like you're chilling, and all of a sudden there's an election going on every 4 years. Whoa. Get out and vote. You know? Go do that. Wow, the election. Crazy. We live in a world, boys and girls, and all those who defy the binary. Whoa. Yeah, dude. I just be chilling, though. On God, like, I just been chilling. You know, I've been reading my manga. I've been fucking playing that new Mario. It's not new Mario, it's the old Mario. Everyone's all mad at it for some reason. Because it's emulated. I don't care, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to play Mario. I like Mario. I'd vote for him. I mean, he does have a checkered past of homophobia, but I feel like he's moved past it. Hopefully, anyway. Nobody's perfect, you know? It's just a plumber trying to make his way. Trying to save the girl he simps for, you know? And she'll give him a kiss on the cheek or the nose or something. You know, that's nice. It's nice of her. She doesn't have to, but it feels platonic, you know? Feels like she's just kind of like, oh, I gotta do this now, you know? Awkward, you know? Awkward turtle. You know, it's pretty... Yeah, it's just, he has a brother, Luigi. You know, what's his deal, huh? He's taller than him. I mean, I assume he's a plumber as well. You know, you never see them doing any plumbing work. They keep work and play separated pretty well. You know, but I mean, everybody's got a mortgage. I feel like Mario has a pretty big mortgage. I feel like Mario's in debt. He's spent his money like not so wisely over the years. It's pretty You know, I feel like he's Republican. I think Mario's Republican. He would definitely run into the Republican ticket. Luigi, though, super socialist. I get socialist vibes from him. Peach is a centrist. But she can't really make up her mind on anything, you know? Yoshi, anarchist. Definitely. He's also an assassin, a political assassin. How does one go about becoming an assassin? Like where do you sign up? Do people like want to be assassins since children, or is it just kind of like they need money and they just start doing it? It's probably like ex-military people, realistically, right? People like with a certain skill set of like fucking people up. Oh God, just hit the microphone with my fucking big ass head, dude. And Rav's been gone for a long time getting that water. What a fucking crazy world we live in. Just me, you, the listener, and someone who abandoned you. Is that really who you want? Is your president Rav? Someone who abandoned you to go get water? He probably shit his pants. I know he shit my pants earlier. Still a little ASMR. I have some. Toasted coconut. Toasted coconut. Let's listen to this. You gotta just start doing mukbang videos, bro. I feel like most people who do mukbang videos have like the worst, gnarliest shits ever. Like there's no getting around it. You can't do that and not be killing your own asshole. Like, oh, I'm gonna eat 2 500-pound lobsters in one sitting and douse it in ranch dressing and also fucking chili sauce. You can't live your life that way and like be like a functioning human. You can't do it. There's no way. There's no way. Those people spend more time on the toilet than they do editing. There's no way they don't. That's rough. Man. I think Rav's dead, dude. Like, what if he ran into the Cucamonga man? What did I call him again? What was his name? Oh, wowie. Oh my God, dude. There's nothing left. Just me and the boys.
Okay.
What was that? I heard something.
All right. Here we go. What's going on?
Not much, man. We were just talking about politics.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good.
That was a long time getting water, man. You okay?
Yeah, no, I said hi to my girl. Just check I said it as if I had multiple. I said hi to my girl, just saying, seeing how she was doing.
Your harem.
My harem, just yeah, seeing how my harem's coming along. But,
yeah, gotta check on that. Yeah,
I had to, just take a little walk outside after thinking of such a great supervillain origin story and everything. It's like it took a lot out of me,
Yeah, we talked about everything while you were gone, me and the listener.
That's great. That should stay between you and the listener.
Okay.
Unless you wish to share.
No. You weren't there, so you don't hear it.
No, until the episode comes out.
Well, I mean, you left us to go gallivant. And I don't appreciate that one damn bit.
You've left us before, too. in the past. It's just, you know, it's edited out.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm about to go grab some water real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't know why Bill is so excited about the election that's coming up. I mean, it's happening now, but he was really excited about, like, writing in Hitler. And I told him, I asked him, I confronted him about it, because he was, like, you know, ranting and raving all about it in the group chat. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's just like, yo, bro, on Squad, I'm going to write Adolf in when I'm voting. And I was like, hey, yo, why? And he just kept saying on Squad. He's like, on Squad, you know, on Squad. And I just didn't know what to do. I was frightened. His pupils were dilated. And, I mean, they usually are when it comes to Bill. You know, but they were, like, overly dilated. I couldn't see the white in his eyes at all. And so I was like, okay, man, you know. But, yeah, other than that, I think he's a pretty chill dude. Pretty swell individual. I feel like him and I get along for the most part. At least professionally, you know. I don't know the guy that well. We just, you know, we just do this together. But outside of the recording process, you know, we lead two very different lives. We try to keep it professional, you know. I don't even know what the guy looks like. Of course I kid. I do know what he looks like. He looks like a madman with dilated pupils, who would easily, would gladfully, happily, merrily write Adolf Hitler in this election. You know, I don't know why he did. He was also saying something like, yo, I could be his vice. And I was like, bro, what do you mean? And again, you know, what do you know? On Squad. All he would say.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above. He kills anyone who disagrees with his policies. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above. He kills any non-believers. He will kill them till they're dead.
Welcome back, Bill. We just talking about politics, you know.
Cool, man. You kept him entertained?
I think it was just insightful. I don't know if it's particularly entertaining. It's just a matter of, I think people already knew everything. I don't think I said anything that was, oh wow, Rav, you're really saying something that's blowing our minds, you know? Nothing like that.
Yeah, but you just like kind of like talked about, like, what'd you guys talk about? Like, I'm kind of,
oh man, it's just, you know, between me and the listener, I suppose, you know?
I guess I'll never know.
I guess you'll never know. Even when you'll edit the episode, you won't know. You'll just.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't really like. I don't like listen.
No, I know. That much is evident.
I just kind of let it go and see where it goes. You know.
Hey, well, before we put a lid on the whole supervillain thing, I wanted to sort of give you and me a challenge where actually you have to come up with the voice for my supervillain. I have to come up with the voice for yours.
Oh, okay. That's not a challenge at all. I've already got a voice in my head.
All right, let's hear. I want to hear what my supervillain voice is.
Okay. I took a poopy. Doo-doo. That's what you sound like in real life.
Okay. And what about my supervillain voice?
But the supervillain sounds like, yes, I have to take a dookie. Like that.
It's really good, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah. What about me, dude? What's the Cucamonga man or whatever the fuck I named him?
I guess he could sound something like, "Oh, if I'm not gonna get my Fenty Minty Slurpy Burpy, I swear to God, I'm going to blow this establishment up. Starting with the toilet. I swear to God, you have crossed me for the last time. Oh, the ghost of Richard Nixon. Oh, you really bring my piss to a boil. I swear to God, I will fuck your aunt and your mother, and I'll fuck your sister. All of your family members will get fucked by me. Yeah, I will fuck them to death. That's what you would sound like.
Me or the villain?
Oh, fuck, the villain. Yeah, let's just say both, just to make it a little.
Okay, yeah, we all know, you know.
Because I feel like you and the villain have so much in common.
It's true. Every time I do fart, people do yell "Cucamonga" really loud.
And you are, battling the ghost of Richard Nixon almost every day.
Any moment, I could be fighting it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is.
So are you from here originally, or what?
I guess so. Bill, how since well, it was the last week we played with Ross, Matt, and Ryan and Frank. We played Among Us. We put that out. People seem to have enjoyed Among Us. People seem to be enjoying that.
Yeah, I cannot say it.
I saw some people were like, "You should have more players. I'm so sad you don't have more people screaming at the top of their lungs, talking over one another." And
yeah,
honestly, I feel like 6 is a great number. I really liked working with 6.
I mean 10 would be fun to play, like as a player. But I feel like that would be too many to keep up. It would be too hard to keep up with who's who almost, I feel like.
Right, and editing, it's in editing, that would be difficult because so many people talking on top of one another. Some people wouldn't be able to get a word in, I fear. And also, once you have more than 6 people, once you have more than one imposter, the game kind of changes. And I like the single imposter game. It's kind of its own thing. And I liked the size of the team. Even then, I thought like, wow, this is pretty sizable. A lot of people in one call talking over one another. Oh, this is difficult. Especially because Matt's audio recording shit crashed. So I had to grab his and Ross's audio from their stream, Ross's stream. And that was really difficult. I had to like cut that audio out and mix other people in and all that jazz. So... You know what?
Yeah, you did a very good job on the edit though. Like it didn't feel at any point like shitty,
I saw a couple of people feel so many people feel strongly about just people enjoying themselves playing games, It's so weird.
How so?
Well, there's a couple of people that were like,
I hate Ross. I swear to God, I hate Ross. Everybody's just trying to enjoy themselves, and he's try-harding and ruining all the fun.
If anything,
but
Ross...
he totally wasn't, though. Ross was great. I love playing with Ross.
He was great. It was so much fun. He's one of the sweetest people we know. He's a great guy.
But he wasn't even... I like the whole, like if you think about it here, such and such, like with the edit and everything.
Yeah, that was like me just kind of...
Yeah, but it's so funny, like in game, like actually, like him doing his like breakdowns and stuff, because it's like it's almost like cartoon character-y, but it's not.
Exactly.
Like, it's like
exactly.
It's necessary what he's saying, but it's like funny,
Exactly. I just sort of emphasized that it made it sound funnier in editing by giving it a this audio backdrop and like these visuals and everything, making it funnier, but. It's great, and and if it weren't for that, I think the videos wouldn't be as funny as well,
Man, I think you know what I think really you need to do, man. You need to take the advice that I don't take on my own, and you need to just not read the comments, because they're like all like, I mean, they're usually nice, but there's always like one person who's like critical, and it's like about something that. Like I saw like one person just shout out, this person wasn't like being a dick or anything, but they said something about, they were like, oh, like I don't really like the background music that used. And then like I went and commented, and I was just kind of like if you say that, Rav's just gonna turn it up. Like
that's exactly it. I mean, I saw that comment too. I saw that comment. I clicked on the person's name, and they're like a really young person, or like a really young kid. They're like,
Yeah.
I think they're 10 or something, or 9. And so I was like, well,
So
it's
you're like, I'm going to
okay.
beat him up.
So I thought to myself, like, okay, how can I trace their IP address? Catch these
How
hands.
can I
man.
swat them?
Yeah, I'm finna swat this kid. No, so I didn't take it close to heart, and I know you're right about not reading comments. I don't do it on purpose. Sometimes I'll just log, like when I'll be on YouTube and I need to do something on it. If I'm on our account, the Chibi Chubby account, it'll just, on the side there'll be a number, like the red thing, and it'll say like you have 9+ comments. So I'll click on it and off just to get rid of the notification. And sometimes I'll catch a glimpse, or like, my eyes will kind of, I don't know, peek, and just be like, oh, I wonder what the top person said. And then I'll see it and I'll be like, ugh, I shouldn't have read it. And so it is what it is, though. I had so much fun. I had so much fun playing with the guys. Editing was a bit of a pain in the ass, but once it was done and I watched it, I was like, this is great. This is such a great memory that we've managed to capture. So I'm super happy with it. I don't really care how others feel about it. If if others like it, that's awesome and that makes me happy. But if some people are like a little bit upset with this or that, I don't care. This is just us playing fucking games together. This isn't like an art
I just
form.
can't imagine, especially because it's like obviously like effort goes into it. When I say effort, I mean usually from your behalf, and I just I exist.
Yeah, or Mitch, or when Mitch edits. Yeah, then of course.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like that's where the effort comes in. So like, especially like but I don't know, dude. It's just like anytime I get mad when I see stuff about the edits. Like I don't care if they're like, oh, Bill sucks at the game. Like, yeah, duh. But like if I see something about the edits, I'm always like, the edits are so good, and they're like,
thank you, man.
Like y'all, I see behind the scenes, like what you guys do and all the little things that you have to do, like all the little conversations that you have to make things happen. And so it's like I see that and I'm just like, for someone to be like, man, this shit, blah, 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 blah. Then I'm like, then I get mad. Then I'm like, oh, like y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know like what went into that, even if it was just like a little stupid joke.
No. People don't know how much any of this stuff sort of.
Yeah, but I will say the comments seem to be very positive. People seem to really like those videos. I would love to do more collab stuff like that, just because like I didn't even really think about how much fun it would be. Like to me, it was just like I was excited to play with the guys, and like especially because like I haven't talked to Ross in a while, and like I've never played a game with any of them other than just like we played with Ryan on like Halo and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like.
Well, and Matt and Ryan on the Super Mega channel.
Yeah. But like, just like in recent memory, like we haven't like sat down and like played a game with those dudes.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
It was a good group of people to play with. Like it was a good dynamic, I feel like. And like always, Frank.
Frank's always fun. We've played some mini games with him in the past, arcade games.
You know what I think is like. You know what I think is great about Frank? You can like toss him into any situation and he just like makes it better. Like,
yeah, I look at Frank as like the honorary Chibi Chubby member, like he's definitely like someone who just his presence makes me very happy. I think he's
very powerful energy.
Yeah, he has a very powerful, positive, flowery energy. He's a fantastic guy, and I'd love to do more stuff with him.
This is totally unrelated, but something really funny happened to me the other day.
Ooh.
And I haven't talked to you about this yet.
Dude,
so, do you know who Slasher is?
From Guns N' Roses?
No, that's Slash.
That's Slash.
Slasher.
Slasher
like
sounds like a horror movie version of him.
Yeah, he's like a Twitch like consultant guy, but he does he's really like, he was on Fox News talking about like video games, like defending video games. That people were saying that like the old thing, like video games make children violent and stuff, and he was like defending video games. And anyway, so like he's like really like into like Twitch stuff in general. I remember like him talking about like with the whole Dr. Disrespect thing that happened, but he's got like almost 500,000 followers on Twitter, right?
Okay.
So I get a DM the other day, and I just happened to check my DMs, and I saw like on my request, you have like the top requests, and I saw at the top request, I saw it was from Slasher. And I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
And so I opened the DM and he's just like, yo, dude, I think it's so cool that you're on Twitch now. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And he goes like, yeah, man, I grew up listening to you and Necro.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? Like, what is he talking about? And I realized he got me confused with Ill Bill.
Ill Bill, yeah. That's hilarious.
And so then, like, I said, like, hey, man, thanks for the love, but, like, I think you're thinking of Ill Bill, not me, you know? And then he was just like, oh, my God, I'm so embarrassed. And he was just like, yeah, but I just checked out your stuff, and, like, Ramona's really good. He followed me. So now I'm got the slasher follow, but it's just really funny. That's the second time that's happened. The same thing happened with Beside You. I hit up Beside You for a beat, and he was just like, yo, I love you and Necro. And I was like, that's not me, dude.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah. And then he was like a similar thing. Like, he checked me out and liked my music and stuff, but like it was just like, that whole shit was so funny. Yeah, but that one was particularly funny for some reason. Like, that interaction was really fucking funny.
Yeah, no, that's really funny. Oh, man, one day, if someone else does that to you, you got to really play along for, like, a while before you reveal your true identity. They'll just be like, yo, I love you and Necro. Like, yeah, man, I snapped back then.
Yeah, like, really go into, like, if it was somebody else, like, if it wasn't Slasher or someone, like, who has, like, a huge fucking following,
right,
then I would have done it. But, like, I didn't want to, like, be weird, you know?
Right, no, you didn't want to be an ass. Right, I get it.
Yeah, that shit would have been really funny, though. But the thing that's so funny about that is, like, Ill Bill is, like, an older guy. You know, he's got to be in his 40s now, you know?
Probably, I would guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and like, we don't really look alike, like, at all. I mean, other than the fact that we're both like chubby white dudes, you know what I mean, with beards. And so, like, the thing that's so funny is that this fucking dude, like, knew me through Twitch. And what's funny is, like, he looked at me on Twitch, saw me, and was like, that is a 40-year-old man. I mean, honestly, though, like, my beard has been going a little crazy lately. I just cut it down to where it's like super short again, but it was like really long and like super unkempt looking. So maybe I did look like an older man. I don't know. But
Cage is now on Twitch. You know that?
I did not know that. What is he doing?
I think he plays COD.
That is weird.
Yeah, he always loved those games, as far as I know.
I mean, new COD's supposed to be pretty good. I've heard that the new one's good.
I think he was playing Warzones or whatever, the one that's kind of like a Fortnite Call of Duty game, as in like Battle Royale.
The Battle Royale, yeah.
That's right, yeah. I know Fortnite wasn't the one to originate Battle Royale before you Fortnite warriors and...
Who was it, like PUBG or somebody?
Dude, it was Minecraft. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
That's weird though. It is kind of weird to see like people adapting, people who aren't like internet people. Like, I don't look at Cage as like an internet person. You know, I look at him as like from an era prior to like being super online, you know? It's like the equivalent of like, I look at that in the same way as like if Aesop Rock started streaming. I would watch it, but...
Definitely.
I feel kind of weird though. I feel like it kind of takes some of the mystique out of it in a way. Is that weird? Am I weird for thinking like I don't want to see Cage do his normal life?
I see what you mean, but at the same time, I've lost that. I know what you mean. And like that back, there was a point in time where I was like, man, this whole online era has taken away the mystique from the artist.
Yeah.
That used to exist back then. But now I'm kind of for it. I'm for the you know, I would rather
like taking away the like
I'd rather
illusion.
dispel that disillusioned perspective of what these people are, because I feel like honestly it's more impressive and more humbling that these are just normal as individuals, you know, all the artists.
I could get behind that, but there's certain people I wouldn't want to see stream, or I wouldn't want, other than maybe like getting on live and talking. Like, I would never want to see Doom stream. That would be weird. Like, I like the whole idea of him being like this, like, I mean, he could do whatever he wants. Like, I wouldn't be mad at him, but I really wouldn't want to watch
but
it.
I mean,
because it's like,
but then I don't think it even has anything to do so much with an online presence, so much as it does with just conflict of character, right? It's like, if there's a rapper who's like super actively like, yo, here's the suicide prevention helpline, yo, it's important that like, you take your mental health seriously, blah blah blah, and then they go on fucking Twitch and they're playing with other Fortniters and they're like, kill yourself. The weird part would be like, the conflict of who they portray themselves to be and who they actually are, right? And if someone is kind of like they keep to themselves, and honestly, Bill, if it weren't for you, if we weren't friends, I probably wouldn't be so active on the internet. Like seeing how active you were, but still yourself, that you could be on the social media and not feel like you're losing a part of who you are, and that you can be a multifaceted person. You don't have to just be, man, I'm pretty sad in my song, so I gotta be sad on Twitter. Or, even if you are a sad person, that doesn't mean every moment of each day that's who you want to be, or who you want to portray yourself as, or who you want to strive to be. And so I saw the way that you approached social media didn't feel corny to me. I thought of the idea of being on social media as a rapper would be corny, and like especially also playing games and shit like that. But when I saw you do stuff like that, it never came across as corny. If anything, it made me like, oh man, I want to do that. That seems fun. That seems fun and cool.
I was thinking about this the other day about how like I look at other artists who like they're just rappers or producers or whatever, and they have Twitter, and they don't, I feel like they don't show all of themselves. I mean, I don't either. Like, obviously, or you don't either. Like, you don't like sit here and like talk about every part
but
of
it
your
does
day
feel like an extension of like their marketing team almost, right? Sometimes where it's like it feels so calculated to be specifically pushing their albums or their shows and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like they're getting much out of the social media. It seems like, okay, this is the place where I tell people where to buy my stuff or where to pay for upcoming shows, rather than like I feel like most rappers who use social media don't get something out of it. And that to me is like, I don't want to follow people who aren't having fun with it. Not because I feel like that's fucked up, fuck them. No, it's like it's unpleasant. It's like going to Disneyland with someone who's going there with you, but almost out of a sense of obligation, and you can tell that they're hating it the entire time. Then no matter how much fun you're having, it's not going to be as much fun for you. So I'm not going to follow you actively if I see that like you're just constantly retweeting the same type of shit, or I don't know, like you're not willing to humor certain people's like jokes or fan art, or be silly once in a while, or you know what I'm saying? Some people are too guarded, and that's off-putting sometimes.
I feel like it's like a lot of times it's just like people are so like they're so focused on looking cool, and I think that like I went through that phase prior to me being really active on Twitter, because like I was on Tumblr, and I to an extent was kind of playing a character at first, like with Jinzo, and then I realized that character is basically just me. Like I felt like there was like a time period where I like typed in all caps, and everything was like super duper serious. Like I took myself really serious, even like if I made a joke or something, like it was like there was this air of like I cared very much about what people thought about me.
Yeah.
And I think now it's just easier just to be like goofy. And I look at other artists and I think that they're afraid of looking goofy. And I think that that's like, I mean, for some people, I guess that is like a big part of their marketing is not looking goofy. But I think that, I think it's okay. Like, I think it's all right to just like not give a fuck if people like think that you're like silly.
It's also because we have that insight of like, we are rappers. We are very personal rappers. We hold specific position within the landscape of hip hop, independent underground hip hop, but we're there, and we hold a specific position, and we know and have seen people within hip hop and just various art and entertainment mediums move and how they maneuver and everything, and they're all people. They all they're all made of flesh and blood, and
metal.
So and metal occasionally, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so when people are acting a certain kind of way, to me now, sort of having that insight and seeing it and being able to compare it with my own friends like you, and you being goofy on Twitter does not detract from the seriousness of the personal music that you put out, and vice versa. The seriousness of your music doesn't create some sort of conflict with how silly you are on Chibi Chubby. These is just, we're multifaceted people. It's kind of like when we're talking about with Matt, it's difficult for people who go into comedy to convince people that they can be serious people, but for people who come from a serious artistic background, also going into comedy, it's a lot easier because people just believe that more, right? In reality, everyone's multifaceted. I truly believe that. Maybe not everyone is a natural at making certain types of jokes and things like that, but most people have a lot of layers to them. And so when I see certain people kind of limit themselves to certain to certain types of perceptions, which is absolutely fine. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see it, sometimes to me, it comes across as like, I don't know, like I'm not enjoying following you on Twitter. Because I don't enjoy following you on Twitter because, I don't know, like, you don't come across as a real person. And that you don't have to. Like, I feel like I come across more as a real person than a lot of these people, and I say a lot less personal shit than they do. I think the whole business of social media is that, I think I saw Arrow recently in an interview say it's social media. You take your all that social shit and you turn it into a form of media for consumption.
Yeah.
And I think there is a truth to that, but I do think that it's multifaceted and you get to pick and choose what you want to put out there. And I think ultimately everyone does. Everyone to a certain extent does, whether you're talking about how shit certain things in your life are or how wonderful things are, or you're completely ignoring that and just memeing. Those are the choices you make as the person. So I don't hold those people. I don't think anyone should be at fault for wanting to present a particular version of themselves. I just feel like it's up to the audience to decide whether that's something they're interested in or not. I'm not interested in following most rappers because they take themselves too seriously, I find. And that's my decision as someone on the other end. And as an artist myself, I don't dive into too much deep stuff, and I do meme a lot, and I'm sure some people find that corny, but it makes me happy because that's like the outlet for my stupid jokes.
Yeah, I think it's also weird is like, I feel like I'm guilty of this, but like being like, if someone has a shitty Twitter, if like someone like, if it's like a rapper I like really look up to, but their tweets suck, it makes me like look at them in a weird way. Like, not in a sense of like, I feel like because it is like marketing, it is like you're whether you know it or not, you're marketing yourself to people, right? And
right,
like if like, for example, I think because rap is so personal, it's like kind of hard for me to like separate art from artist unless it's something like that I really, really, really enjoy. But like, if sometimes I'll like really like someone's music and then I'll like follow them on Twitter or Instagram or something, and like they'll be like an asshole to people or something, and I'm just kind of like, it makes me look at them in a different way. It makes me take those lyrics that they have in a different context. Because
then that's where the conflict can come out from, right? Like, I don't think there's a conflict in someone, excuse me, making silly dick jokes on one part of the internet and then in their songs being fragile and, I don't think there's conflict in that. So I think that's why my music and my silliness can coexist. But then on the other hand, when there are people who are preaching platitudes in their music and are talking about how we need to be more forgiving and kind, blah, blah, and then are out there on social media being stuck up jerks and just not very pleasant people at all and kind of not practicing what they're preaching, then I feel like that can rub people the wrong way, and you can start to lose faith in their words as a result. You know, I feel like there's levels to this, and I don't think there's one right way of doing things at all. I think each person ought to have their own bespoke approach, because everyone's experiences are bespoke. And you know, I'm just saying, as a consumer, from a consumer perspective, I can make the decision to be like, yo, this rapper is kind of lame to follow. Love their music, but they're lame on Twitter. Or like, this person's cool. Like, let's take Aesop Rock, one of my favorite rappers. He's not really active on Twitter, at least not anymore. And when he does post stuff, it's about his new upcoming album. So I follow him because I want to see when his new album's coming out this year. I like to see whenever there's new music videos and stuff like that. But, you know, outside of those album cycles, it's kind of like, you know, I guess I have a very specific reason why I follow him, but I'm not following him because I'm expecting something interesting on Twitter or a fun interaction.
I think that's also different. I think that's a choice that he's making that is, I kind of like am fine with it, because he's kind of carved himself in his own lane so hard that it's like he doesn't have to sit around and like think about like, oh, what am I going to tweet about today? What am I going to post about on Instagram today?
No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like there's a conflict there, but also as a consumer, I maybe not like, I won't be recommending people follow Aesop Rock, right?
Yeah.
I might be like, yo, he's one of my favorite artists, but, you know, go listen to his music.
Yeah.
But if it's someone like Vince Staples, I might be more likely to recommend that you go follow him on Twitter than maybe even listen to some of his music. Just because I feel like he's funny. He has a lot of funny shit to say. It's kind of like how for a while, you'll remember this, the era where, you know, Schoolboy Q and Mac Miller were just really fun to follow. And when
that was great. That was a good time.
That was a good time. And then when what's his name? Fuck, the rapper, white rapper, who became a wrestler, kind of, but not really.
Eminem. I was like, Riff Raff.
Riff Raff was fun as fuck to follow on social media, and even DJ Khaled at one point was really fun to follow. I wouldn't be recommending his music, DJ Khaled's music, to anyone, but I'd be like, yo, but you should follow him on social media. And so these things can be mutually exclusive.
I agree. I think that there's definitely a lot of people that I follow that I don't even really care about their music as much. It's just kind of like, I think that their presence on the internet is better than if it wasn't there, you know?
I agree. And one of the funniest things to me is whenever I do a really dumb tweet and people say something like, this is the man that said, and then they'll quote like a sad song, you know, of mine, or they say, this is the man who made Beneath the Toxic Jungle. Like, this is the same dude who did that. And they'll say that underneath like the dumbest tweets I post. That shit makes me laugh. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I think that is funny.
It's like an acknowledgement of like, oh, wow, can't believe this is the same person. But it's like, that's the reality.
Get you a man that can do both.
That's why I prefer that there isn't that mystique, because I feel like the mystique fools people into thinking that there's fewer dimensions to certain artists, when in reality everyone's multifaceted and has many layers to them. No one person is just one emo all the time or this or that.
I think that it's like not as much that that's not really what I mean. That I think that people are like when I say the mystique, sometimes I think the omission for certain artists and certain styles of music, I think the omission of parts of their life makes it more interesting from a perspective of like, you have a preconceived notion, whether or not it's true, right? That adds to the musical experience on a subconscious level. Like, for example, I know like Lil Ugly Mane is a normal man. Okay, like I've seen him in his lives. So like when he went on with Wavy Jones, like I've like looked into like his interviews and stuff. He's just a normal fucking guy. Probably more normal than most people, you know, just in his interactions. You know, it just seems pretty, normal guy, right? But there is like an aspect of, I'm not speaking about him specifically in this, but like there's an aspect of like the man who made Mr. Thug Isolation, the man who made Bedwetter, etc. Like, is this very like kind of cloaked in mystery, almost MF Doom type persona, and I prefer to see less of it, even if it exists out there, like of him being normal, because I have this idea of like what he's like, this character that he's kind of built up. That
I see.
That I personally like don't want. It's like, you know, as a kid, you kind of figure out Santa Claus isn't real. Before, like, of me, I was ready to admit that he wasn't real. I wanted Santa Claus to be real. Do you see what I'm saying? I knew Santa Claus wasn't real, but I kind of forced myself to believe that he was, if that makes any sense. And I feel kind of like the same about like certain artists. I know that like artists, MF Doom probably lives like a very normal, boring life. However,
right, exactly. I see what you're saying. It's about that illusion. I guess I don't think about it as much because, well, first of all, it's as you said, it's some artists that I think would be necessary for. But
yes.
On the other hand, again, maybe because I'm no longer disillusioned in that way, I just, every time I hear, even if something's super dope and it puts me in a world, I still know that this is like, and that makes it cool for me that someone who's probably very grounded in reality is able to explore themselves artistically in this such a creative way. And also the way I approach my music is, you know me, my music is comes from a very personal place, and I don't make myself into a hero necessarily so much as just kind of I lay out my problems, so it's easier for me to speak on like, oh, you know, why don't you just be yourself? Because I feel like I almost have to do that because I worry that people will assume that because my music comes from the darkest depths of me, that I worry that it'll misinform them that I'm just that, and I want to show them that no, it's you can be multiple things, and it can be an ongoing battle throughout your life. And that's normal, and then so that people don't feel like they have to subscribe to the idea of just being emo or just being happy or just that or this or that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think one that would be interesting that I was talking about was like pretty much all members of Death Grips, like I think kind of fall under the category of like it almost adds to the mystique because the everything's so presented in such a way that is like very like internet and very. Do
you think that's branding then? Do you think it's like at that point 100%. It's matter? Right. Yeah. Okay. Then I think it's a matter. Yeah. If it really goes against your brand to have a social media account and everything, and the brand kind of comes first, then I totally understand. Then yeah, that makes sense.
I think what's interesting about Death Grips in particular is like, I know that they probably all have normal lives and they all probably just do normal shit, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But there is like this wanting to know like what they're, because the whole brand is built on this kind of like strangeness, you know? And I think that like it makes me in my head think that they live kind of odd lives, and I want to know more. However, part of the experience is getting blue-balled, like not knowing. And that's kind of like what makes it interesting. Even though the music is phenomenal, like in its own right, there is like, I want to know about the man who has all the coconuts, bitch, you know, but I don't, you know.
Do you think that means then that maybe people who go into this kind of artistic direction, that maybe they ought to go under pseudonyms, so that if they do choose to exist on the internet and people really want to, this is hard. That's hard because then
I'm
I feel
sure
like
that those people probably have like private Twitters or private, people like that have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
right. Because I was just thinking of a way, how do you reconcile that, right? How do you reconcile a brand, but also being who you are? And is it even necessary to reconcile that? And to me, the reason I guess I lean towards that there should be, at least we should consider that there is a necessity to do so, is because I worry otherwise of some of the threats of branding and that side of capitalism. There's definitely so much good in there, but it's also, I fear that by going so like balls deep into branding, that people might start losing a sense of who they are and lose a way to communicate things that maybe feel personal to them and that could be otherwise healthy and helpful, just because they're so lost behind this wall.
I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be mad if Zach Hill or MC Ride or Flatlander got Twitter accounts.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be upset. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here like, oh, but like, I would probably follow them, honestly, just because like I would get curious and want to see what they're doing, right? But I feel as though like they've created this monster of that mystique is part of what sells.
Do you think it's on the consumer then? Do you think it's on the consumer then? Because like I totally know what you mean. I don't know about you, but whenever the movies, you know, the DVDs used to come out back in the day, they would have like behind the scenes shit, right?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I wouldn't watch the behind the scenes stuff because I didn't want it to ruin the magic. I know that these are normal ass people pretending to be these characters. I know that this is fake blood. I know all of these things, but I don't want to know how they fake it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to see really obvious reminders of it. I want to live in that world, but that's on me. I get to choose to skip those specials. I don't have to watch them. But if I do want to watch them, then I can.
Of course. But then as a fan, if you knew that MC Ride had a Twitter account right now,
yeah,
like you would want to instinctively follow it because you want to show support for the band and want to know more. But
you might be right.
Like,
yeah.
I think that it's one of those things that it's like it is on the consumer and it is on the artist, but there's a way you could do. I think it's a little bit of both in this particular case, because like if they could do whatever they wanted, they could go out and like make a fucking. I don't think it would affect their record sales. Really, I think that it would probably like be good for them. But I do think at what point is it branding? At what point is it part of the art? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and how long does it matter? Because I feel like if they got Twitter accounts, individual ones, back when they first started off as a group and were popping off, I think that could have gotten in the way of their success, because I think that would pull the curtain back a little too much too early on.
Yeah.
However, now because they're so established, it's like, well, of course we know there's who they are and that they're normal people.
They could definitely get away with it now. I just think
do you think timing has to do something with it too?
Yeah, but I also think that they're particularly kind of an odd case because like a lot of their stuff was kind of like performance art too. Like, I mean, like they literally did like a stretch of shows where they didn't show up and they put like a speaker out on the stage and just like a shitty speaker played their music and was like, the disappointment is your show. Like that was their show. They did that to like fans, like on purpose as a part of the art. Like,
right. Like
which is,
well, a lot of people assume Doom does.
Yeah. But I mean, this is I would be upset if that happened to me, but I also think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's someone like it ends up being like last time was Hannibal Buress. That's funny. That works, and then I don't feel like I still missed out on something. It's like
of course. I think this is a little different though, because like even if someone shows up and does Doom songs and you didn't know, that's kind of funny, and I would not even really be mad if it was somebody like Hannibal Buress, but like if I came to a show and it was literally just a speaker, like not the sound system, just a speaker playing their music, you know, like I would be a little upset, you know. But
yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, but then at least you'd be like, I was at that show. You know, you become part of that lore.
Yeah, of course. You know, I almost saw Death Grips in Charleston.
That's right.
Yeah, but then they
canceled.
We had these really bad floods, and I remember I took the day off of work. Like I was working at that DJ gig, DJing weddings, and I called the dude, and then like my dad, he's like he doesn't have the best health, you know, and so at the time, like I was like, hey, he's getting a procedure done on this day, and he was like, it's Sunday. And I was like, yeah, it's an important procedure. I literally lied just so I could go to this Death Grip show, and then they canceled because of the floods, which I couldn't have worked that day anyway. But so then they had floods, and then instead the next day, Tori Moi came, and they did like a thing to raise money for the damages in downtown Charleston and stuff. And that shit was great. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. But I am a little not mad, but upset that I missed Death Grips.
Are you furious?
Man,
Have you punched an M&M a hole in the wall?
You ever done that? You ever punched a hole in the wall like a Kyle?
I don't think
When I
so.
get really frustrated, I hit my desk. Like, I don't know if that's just like a white dude thing, but like if I'm like
just
really
hit my
upset,
dick.
I just smack the shit out of my dick with a hammer.
I start beating my dick furiously.
I don't ever like get real crazy. I don't think I have like anger issues or anything like that, but like sometimes it just does feel good to like just like hit an inanimate object.
Yeah,
You know, like punch a
I see
pillow
what
or
you're saying.
something.
Just getting it out of your system. I feel like that's why, you know, going to the gym is like a healthy thing to do, and you know, meditating and doing yoga and these things will, I feel like, having a good sleeping pattern, diet, and having a healthy lifestyle in general can help with that. I think you're less likely to engage in Kyle activities.
That's true. It
you
is
do that.
true. I had a old roommate who used to engage in a lot of Kyle activities in my house. Like he like punched a hole in my wall one time, and he had
Yeah.
to fix it. Yeah, it was pretty.
Was it
dumb.
over a girl?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's as
girls,
Kyle as it
man.
gets. Yeah,
that's
man.
as Kyle as it gets. And he broke his phone like 4 times.
By tossing it.
My thing is this: is like I understand like the whole like you're angry and you want
It's
to
a release.
like release.
It's a release.
Release
Yeah.
it, and I get that, but like why does it have to be on either things that aren't your property or things that are expensive and your property? Like I'm sorry, bro.
Because it's not thought out. Well, it's not, you know, it doesn't come from a place of thought. It's like you're overflowing, you know, and it's like you don't get to reason like, oh, I'm about to overflow. All right, what is like the least expensive thing I can break right now? You know, like
Yeah,
it's
well,
not.
I mean, okay, maybe it's because like I have that same kind of like I want to hit a thing, but I can like wait. Like if I'm really upset and I'm like really angry, I will never hit a thing that is expensive. Like I never think like, oh, I'm gonna break.
Unless it's your girl.
Unless it's well, she's I guess she is. You can
Affordable.
sell people for. She's affordable.
That's true.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
she's been working on her price. You know, trying to
Black
lower it
Friday is
down.
right around the corner.
Yeah,
No,
it's right
but
around the corner. I would never hit my girl. I would never hit a person. Like I feel like unless I was like really like in danger, I would never like hit a person.
Right. I just feel like people have different thresholds for various different things, and I think that's an example of that. Something could maybe piss someone off a lot more than it would piss you off, and on the surface maybe it would look similar, but it really become uncontrollable. You know, I feel like oftentimes it comes from a place of just being unable to express anger throughout most of your life in different ways, and oftentimes it comes from like the way you are raised. You know, during the developmental stages of your life, is that you aren't allowed to explore your anger, and so what happens is you become this person who will have these bursts of anger. Instead of dealing with it, you know, over a period of time and thinking about it and discussing it, you kind of repress it. You push it back until it overflows. And then it comes out as like, yeah, you'll throw something that you just want it to stop, you know? And sometimes the most expensive thing just happens to be the thing in your hands, or like you punch something because you need that release, and it's not a very thought out process. And some people, I think, are able to maybe still kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, like hold back a little bit, but that little bit makes all the difference. But I don't think that comes from like, oh, you know, a person who is unable to do that, they're weaker, or that they're less thoughtful, or they're more selfish. I just think they're different. Their experiences leading up to that had been different.
I never thought about it that way. I think the one time though that I like really I kind of like when I remember getting really upset one time and I hit my desk and my girl had never seen me do that before, you know?
Yeah.
And
It scared her?
Yeah, it scared her. Like it was like we were just chilling and then something happened and I was pissed and I was talking about it. I was like, I'm such and such and such, and I was like looking at my computer screen. No, it wasn't that. It was something like that. That would definitely. I've thrown a chair. I've definitely thrown a chair when we were in Colombia. I could tell you that's that was the most angry I've ever been. I think was like I worked so hard on that mix and I couldn't get it to sound right, and then it crashed on me and then it wouldn't open again. And I remember physically picking up a chair and throwing it, and being like afterwards, like that was dumb. I shouldn't have thrown the chair, you know. But like I remember being like so pissed. But That sounds more violent than it was, by the way. Like it was like a gentle toss, if it makes any sense.
I know, but I know what you mean. It
I didn't like throw it against a wall. Like I just like literally like pushed it down.
Toss it at the window.
Like it wasn't like that. It was like more like I'm standing up and I'm holding it. I'm leading it back. I just like threw it backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
yeah. No.
I was by myself, except for I think you were in the call with me when it happened. But
Yeah, I think so.
But I remember I was at my desk and I hit it, and my desk is made of wood and it's really strong and like super sturdy, right? And I hit it and it made like, it's got metal pieces like on the rack mount, so it kind of like rattles like if you hit it. And I think she thought I hit it way harder than I did because it sounds like really like, and I was just kind of frustrated. I was like, like that, some old fucking anime shit. And then like she like looks at me, she's like, are you okay? Like, do you have like anger issues? And I was just like, I mean, I'm just got pissed and I hit the desk. I didn't even like think about it, and then that's when like I've kind of like decided like, oh, maybe I should like rein that in, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the type of dude though, like I let shit fester too much. I think that's probably why I get like that sometimes.
That's why I feel like therapy is healthy for everyone, man. If you can afford therapy, or you're in a country where you could get therapy for free, honestly, man, if it were up to me, I feel like every person needs therapy, because every person needs someone who can listen professionally, who knows how to listen, who knows how to push the conversation in the right direction. And not only are they qualified in all those things and understanding how the person's brain works and how much, significance their childhoods have, but also they're not in your life.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like, by sharing something super important and honest and things that drive you mad or scared, by sharing that with them, that's not going to actually impact your life in a negative way. And then you get that catharsis. And I feel like, honestly, everyone deserves it, because these things aren't, I feel like we're still all learning, and each individual person has their own experience with how they deal with their emotions and everything, but it's not something that's very well addressed in schools, and that's many just mental health in general is not something that's taught to us very well. And so we just look at role models, we look at how our parents act, and we look at how these figures on television act, and we surmise that that's what we need to aspire to, when the reality is what we see on TV is very select kind of perception. And then even with our parents, they will portray a certain select amount of things to you that they think you need to see. So then by thinking your experience doesn't align with all these other experiences, you're kind of robbing yourself of that, allowing to feel the things that you feel without feeling guilt, and trying to understand why you feel them rather than feeling angry at yourself. So that's why, even though I was making fun of Kyle-like behavior, I've seen it in person, and I've seen how it manifests oftentimes. And yes, calling it Kyle behavior is funny, but in reality, having witnessed it and everything, it's usually people who have struggled with growing up with being able to express their emotions to their parents. Oftentimes, for instance, right? Because their dads would discipline them or would discourage them from showing emotions, from crying, from things like that. Oftentimes, very over masculine fathers produce some of the most troubled sons, because then they bottle these things up and everything. And the thing is, their fathers will portray themselves as how they want for their sons to see them. It's not always an accurate representation of who they are, and oftentimes they come from very flawed parenting as well. And so I think therapy and intervention and things like that are a way to break the cycle. And we all, if we can, ought to strive to break the cycle of whatever issues that have plagued us generationally. Like I know my family definitely did not believe in mental health for generations and generations, and they definitely didn't address many different things: alcoholism, depression, and more. And I feel like I owe it to myself and my loved ones, whether that's my girl or you and other my friends. Like I owe it to myself and y'all to be the healthiest person that I can be. And the way to do that is to take myself seriously and take my problems seriously and seek out a path of healing. I'm sorry that it turned really serious towards the end here, but it's something I mean, truly believe in.
I will say also, one thing I've noticed with me in general is like, it's directly, most of these problems I have ever had have been directly linked to my, like, how much sleep I get.
Yeah.
And I know that that's like, because like I know that like your brain is kind of like a slave to your body.
Yes.
Like in a sense of like you feel emotions, but a lot of times it's like you're really just like seeking out like what your body needs, right? Like, and I think that, for example, let me give you a good example. The other night, I edited the podcast, and I went into, like, I had planned on sleeping in the next day. You know what I mean? And then, like, I edited the podcast, and I got done at, like, 3 a.m. or something like that, and I shot you the link. And then, like, I was like, well, I'm just going to sleep in tomorrow. I don't have anything to do until, like, later in the day, so it'll be nice. And then, like, I got to sleep at like 4 something, which is late for me now. Like I used to stay up all the time, but now I just don't. And then like I immediately, like my girl wakes up and she gets ready for work, goes at like 6. So like that wakes me up. And then like an hour later, my dog is like licking me in the face, like, hey, wake up. I got to go take a piss. So I get up and do that. And then like, I can't get back to sleep after that point. So it's like, I'm like walking around like this weird, and I'm not really like, it's like I might as well be asleep. Like I'm like just like laying in bed, you know, trying to sleep. And
yeah, I know exactly
like,
what you mean.
Yeah, and it sucks. And so I'm like sitting here, and then like the day goes on, and then like at that point you feel like almost sick. Like you're like sitting here like, okay, like I don't know what to do. Like I can't really like do anything that I want to do. Like I want to just like sit here and watch YouTube and go to sleep. But I can't go to sleep. And then like later on in the day, the dog gets out, which like we have to have the dog like on a leash outside because he'll just run the fuck away, you know? And he gets out because I'm outside. My foot was hurting really bad, but my girl asked me to go grab something out of the car for her. And then I realized when I got down the steps that I didn't even bring the keys in. So I call her. I'm like, hey, can you grab the keys so you can unlock the door? And so she does that, but then the dog like just shoots out, and he didn't even have his collar on because we just bathed him. So like we couldn't get him back inside, and I flipped the fuck out, dude. I was so mad, like not at her, just kind of at the situation. You know what I mean? It wasn't really her fault.
You were just like overwhelmed with all that happened, and the fact that you didn't get any sleep. All of it. It was just the thing that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, exactly. And I was and it was like this like combination of anger at the dog, because like I was like, come on, like I'm always like, I hang out with the dog all the time, and I'm always like making sure he's doing good, and he's kind of like my little job here. Like while my girl is at work, I have to like make sure that he's, you know, straight. And so then like he gets out, and I'm like sitting here like, okay, I spent all my day like hanging out with you and like making sure, you know, took him on a walk and all this other stuff, and now you just want to run off.
I get.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. That's for real how I felt with this dog. And then he's like running away, and now I'm worried because like the way he likes to run is like, 1, hard to get him, and 2, it's near the highway, and if he gets hit by a car, I would be fucking like devastated. So I'd be angry at the dog for getting hit by a car.
Punch the shit out of
But
it.
I'm like scared, and he's like not getting it. I'm like trying to, I think because like I'm like angry and scared, he's like trying to run away from me because like he can sense that shit. And so then I'm trying to, and I got him in eventually. Like I lured him in with his little plastic bone, and I got him inside, and like thank God I did. But like and also like as I'm doing it, like I step in like a fucking hole with my bad leg, and I'm like, ow, that hurts really bad.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm like all this stuff, and then like I just lost it, and like I just yelled like super. I did like a fucking Dragon Ball Z yell like outside, and then my girl like she starts like laughing because I look like a crazy person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, ah! It had to be like a fucking Garfield and John Arbuckle moment, you know? I was like, Garfield! Like, it was like that, you know? And then I'm like laughing because
you realize how ridiculous the situation is.
I look like a fucking crazy person.
That sounds so fucking
I'm so
funny.
glad our neighbors can't like really hear like what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they heard the yell, like, but it sounded like a fucking. And I don't. It's just like I don't even remember like the noise I made, but I remember it not being like a stereotypical angry yell. Like I remember it just being like I wanted noise to come out of me, you know. And so I'm just like, oh
yeah.
yeah, dude. But then the next day I slept, and then like he's being the dog is kind of a dick sometimes, you know, he just grabs shit.
Yeah, of course.
And
Right.
but then I was fine with it because I had sleep. I was okay. So
Right. No, that's a big
you know.
thing, and you know what? I would go further and say it matters that you have consistent sleep. Whatever your window of time that you decide to sleep, it needs to be consistent. And same with your diet. Eat it 3 times a day. Even if if you hate breakfast, eat something super tiny, like a couple nuts.
It's because
it's because your body needs all your fluids or your systems, your organs. They're all, think of them as like computer processes, right? And they all work, but they need a rhythm to inform them when they need to engage, when they need to cool your body, when they need to heat your body, when they need to, filter certain things through your body. And that very heavily impacts how we feel, just mental health wise. How do we feel happy? Do we feel upset? How do we feel good? Do we feel energized or not? That all of that really heavily depends on that. So, when you first get diagnosed with depression and everything, one of the first things I remember being told is just like, all right, well, first of all, let's make sure you have like, if you can try, have like a regular schedule as much as you possibly can in terms of your sleep. Get at least this amount of sleep. Try to get a regular sleep. Even if you want to go to bed late, fine. And you want to wake up late, fine. But just like make it regular, make it consistent. And then eat 3 times a day. Even if like you don't feel like eating at all, just eat something super tiny, like a fruit at least. At least your body knows that you've consumed. It was that specific time, and it knows how to. It's like a set of triggers in your body, right? It's like,
yeah,
okay, this is what I do now. And so that's a really big thing. And if you have a good diet and sleeping schedule, your mental health is already by default like in a stronger place. And same for your immune system. It's in a way better
for sure, dude. I mean, like when I was, I think before I moved back here, I was kind of at like my lowest in terms of like, I was eating really shittily and I was sleeping really shittily. And it was never consistent, but it was like I had this feeling, and I think I've talked about this before, but like when I was I would feel like a zombie all day. Like all day I felt like death, like until
That's
like
right, yeah.
7 p.m. and then I'd be like, oh, I feel pretty good. And then like I would get kind of sleepy at like 11 p.m. Like I'd be like, oh, it's time for me to go to sleep. But like I would always be like over at Joe's house around that time because I would go see her like every day, and just to get out of the house because I was just like bored in the house or whatever, and it became part of the routine. And then I would drive home, and by the time I got home, then I'd be like fucking awake. And then it's like I'd be up to like 5, 6 a.m. like every day, wake up at like 10, 11. Like I was going off of like super like 4 or 5 hours sleep like every night. And like I was eating shittily. I was fucking like now, man, like ever since I moved back here, I've lost 14 pounds and I've been.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, dude, since I broke the leg,
Holy
I've
shit.
somehow lost 14 pounds. And it's the thing is like, I don't even like, I'm not like even like dieting. It's just like, I'm not eating fast food as much and cut out sodas, except for like maybe like once a month. You know what I mean? Like as a treat or something.
Yeah, I cut sodas out too. That was, I think, a healthy thing. Man, if you like LaCroix and stuff like that, then
I do.
Which I know a lot of people hate LaCroix. I actually really like LaCroix, but you can get, I forgot what it's called, but you can get, not very expensive, like this thing that can make water fizzy, like
Oh yeah, I've
carbonated.
seen those. Yeah, it's like you
And
can like
so-
carbonate them.
Right, so you can just get water and like throw some lemons in there and carbonate it, and then you'll have like kind of like lemon LaCroix.
What we've been doing is I like the coconut LaCroix the most.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah, that one's good.
I'll just buy that like I would be buying soda. And the reason why I like it is because like my favorite thing to drink soda out of is a can. And I think it like satisfies that part of my brain. And I love the it's almost like overpowering. Like if you have like a cold LaCroix and you drink it fast, like it's the same as like, you know, drinking like a fucking like a Mountain Dew or some shit in my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, even though
no, I know
totally
exactly
different.
what you mean. But it's 10 times better for you. Yeah. Well, better.
Yeah.
It's not as bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been doing that a lot and just drinking more water. My girl's always been like super into hydration because she has like a fast heartbeat. And they say it's like linked to how hydrated she is. And I remember like if she like doesn't drink enough, like it'll like cause her to faint and stuff. It's like kind of odd. And she's been to the doctor several times about it.
Right. Yeah. No, my girl has a similar thing with sugar. Yeah, my girl.
Oh, really?
She doesn't have diabetes or anything like that. But if she like, I think she's a bit iron deficient. So sometimes she'll just feel really just dizzy out of nowhere and like weak, and she'll need to sit down. We'll be out and about. And I'll quickly give her like some sort of sugary sweet snack, you know, or something.
Yeah.
And
my
then
mom's
she'll
like
have
that.
it, and then she'll feel a bit better. And then
if her blood sugar gets so low, she never like has dealt with like high blood sugar or anything like that. But like all her life, if she gets low blood sugar, she'll get like that. She does have an iron deficiency as well. She takes supplements, but still like it's
I
still
think it comes from an iron deficiency thing. Yeah, because my girl seems to have a similar thing.
Yeah, dude, that's another thing too. I know we're just talking about like health shit forever here, but like one thing that I've been taking is like when all the like when we both got sick at the same time, like around Ramona, I remember like for a long time after that, I still felt like death. Like I would just like, I thought I was dying or I had cancer or something. I was like afraid to go to the doctor because I was like, they're going to tell me that I'm going to die. And like I went to a doctor about it eventually, and then they were like, well, let's do like a scan on you, like see like what's, you know, a blood test and see what's going on with you. And like my vitamin D was like super low. And so I started taking vitamin D every day, and
going
like
out in the sun a bit more.
Yeah, but no, even they say that like just certain people, like even if they go out in the sun, like they don't get enough.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why, because like I'm out a bit, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like always
That's
like
true.
just indoors all the time. But yeah, like I remember though one time when I was like feeling that way, I went out and swam over at my friend's pool. And I got sunburned really bad, but I felt amazing. And I was like, why is this? And it all kind of makes sense now. It's like an overdose of vitamin D or some shit. But yeah, I've been taking it, and I saw someone tweeted about that. They were like, oh, if it feels like you're like people might still be dealing with depression, but like it has the same effects as if you have depression, like if you have a vitamin D deficiency. So it's worth looking into. If you haven't, it might be a medical reason why you feel the way you do. So
oftentimes, you know, and depression, there's so many layers to it. If you're listening to this, there's a genetic component. You know, it can be genetically passed on. If your people in your family before you had depression, it is very much genetic.
If your people are depressed.
If your people are depressed, it's also, of course, circumstantial in terms of when you grow up during your first 25 or so years, the developmental stages, all the relationships you've had, all experiences and things and memories you have, memories you don't think you have anymore and stuff like that. These are incredibly strong components. And last but not least, whatever your current circumstances are, and you know, goals. What do you think of when you go to bed? What do you think of when you wake up? So there's a lot of components to consider. But yes, you know, your nutrition, your sleeping schedule, definitely something you can do something about it immediately. So it's worth looking into. And yoga's good.
it's like one of those things, like it probably won't like outright cure you or something, but it definitely won't hurt. You know, either way.
It won't hurt, and it's likely to make you feel better, honestly, just speaking from personal experience and seeing so many people I know that have gone through that too. I don't know anyone who ever like switched to a healthier lifestyle in terms of diet, sleeping schedule, and went, yeah, man, nothing's changed for me, or like, man, I feel worse. That's never happened in my experience. I would not rule that out.
There's something
completely,
wrong. I feel like there's something wrong if it does happen to you like that.
Right, exactly. So there we have it. Man, can't believe we covered so much ground on this episode.
Yeah, dude. So, like, what are your thoughts on anal?
Not today, Satan.